So, back in January, Freedom House released the findings of Freedom in the World 2013, which is the organization's annual survey of political rights and civil liberties. The survey, or selected data from it, can be viewed at www.freedomhouse.org. You can visit the site to find out more about the organization if you don't know much, or perhaps you've never heard of them. They have a channel here on YouTube if you'd like to give it a look. As things stand, 34% of the global population live in countries deemed not free. That's 2,376,822,100 people. In the Middle East and North Africa, the percentage of countries designated as not free stands at 61%. Percentage of the population, 63%. See pages 32 and 33 of the survey for the methodology summary and the political rights and civil liberties checklist questions. According to Freedom House, there have been some disturbing trends emerging in Turkey recently, with journalists, academics and the like being jailed. Apparently, Turkey is the world leader when it comes to the number of journalists who find themselves behind bars. We've seen sectarian violence in Pakistan and Iraq, and the situation in Syria is well documented. That country has just fallen to pieces over the last couple of years, hasn't it? Libya is an ongoing success story. Hopefully they will continue to move towards democracy. Yeah. With Egypt, it's difficult to see which direction that country is going to go in. I'm not sure about this Mohamed Morsi guy. And I'm not certain whether the Muslim Brotherhood are really genuinely committed to democracy or not. Have to wait and see. Sub-Saharan Africa is the most politically volatile region in the world right now, and has been for years, according to Freedom House. This is not surprising to me. This is not news. Yeah, a lot of things going on in African countries fairly recently, and for the last few years, has been fairly disturbing. Africa has problems, big problems. Accelerated repression in Russia, so says Freedom House. Repressive laws have been pushed through, certain activities have been stifled. Some bad news regarding other Eurasian countries also, namely the Ukraine, Tajikistan and Kazakhstan. A bit of good news coming out of Georgia, though, and Armenia as well. Burma there's a country that's made a lot of improvements in recent years. The main opposition party successfully took part in 2012 parliamentary by-elections. But before people get carried away, it's well to remember that Burma still has a long way to go and big obstacles to overcome. Yeah. The power of Burma's military is still great. And there is still repression and conflict going on inside the country. In China, not much in the way of good news. Corruption, increased censorship, communications blackouts, restrictions, harassment of dissidents, activists and religious believers, police brutality, and so on. With the Chinese Communist Party, we're talking about a collectivist, totalitarian, oppressive regime, are we not? And yet there are many Chinese people who are willing to stand up to the oppressors and the bullies and make their voices heard. Difficult and dangerous as that is, such people deserve our support and respect, surely. And the same goes for people all over the world who stand up to tyranny and campaign for their rights and the rights of their fellows. There's a little bit in this survey about recent goings-on in South America. Interesting. What direction will Venezuela go in now that Chavez is dead? Here in Europe, we've had the most serious economic downturn of the post-war period, as the survey points out. Greece's problems are also addressed. Greece is like the sick man of Europe right now. It looks like a divided nation from the outside looking in. I wonder how far this Golden Dawn party can go. How successful can it be? It seems to have high levels of support, even amongst the police, which is quite disturbing. But will they hit a wall and go into decline at some point, this party? Please read the conclusion of this survey, folks. There's some well-aimed criticism of the international community. If we want democracy to take over the world, then we need a strong, purposeful and committed leadership in the international community. And I would say there has to be a definite long-term plan of action. What are the big, powerful democracies doing in support of fledgling democracies? And in support of NGOs and activists of the democratic persuasion who are currently campaigning and struggling within authoritarian countries? What's currently being done? Can more be done? What strategies do we need to employ? Questions to think deeply about, I would suggest. So yeah, Freedom in the World 2013. Give it a look. Let me know what you think if you want. Peace.